Coach, congratulations. You are now the conference leader in CAA wins, passing Jim Larinaga, someone who you crossed paths with in your career. Let's look back because Coach Larinaga took George Mason to the Final Four the year prior to your first year in the conference in 06, 07. To see that transpire and now to be at the top of the list, just how special is that to you, Coach?
Well, it's an honor, but it's very humbling. And I've said this several times when asked. Uh, Coaches don't win games, players do. And yeah, I've just been very, very fortunate to have some great student athletes come through this program that have bought into what we're trying to teach and have fought and scrapped for some victories against some great coaches throughout the league. Like you said, I've been here a long, long time. Coach Larinaga, I consider him a good friend. We've competed both at his time at George Mason, but then again at Miami, and crossed paths a number of times up here when his son was coaching with the Celtics. So anytime you're mentioned in the same breath as Jim Larinaga, you're in good company.
Yeah, great company. And you mentioned you've been doing it for a little bit, 17th season at Northeastern, and the league's been around for 40 years. So, as you mentioned, you've coached alongside some of the best in the business, but how have you seen the league grow and honestly change throughout your tenure at Northeastern?
Yeah, I mean, when we first got into the league, my first year was following the George Mason fantastic run to the Final Four, but also experienced the VCU Final Four run. And there are some great coaches that have come through this league and competed. At first I think it was more a Virginia centered league, and the conference tournament was down in Richmond. But
Yeah.
now the league's expanded, north and south, and with some great new competitors and some great coaches in the league. So it's certainly evolved.
What about personally? How have you grown? How have you changed throughout your time on Huntington Avenue?
Yeah, well, I just pinch myself every day. This is year 18 for me here at Northeastern. Following 9 years at Boston College, so I've been in Boston, haven't had to move my family,
Wow.
but most importantly, work for really, really good people. We have tremendous senior leadership from our president on down. Great athletic directors. I've worked for some great athletic directors. People I've considered friends and mentors.
Yeah.
But it really comes down to the relationships with the student athletes and the guys that you form bonds with. You first get introduced to them and their families early on in the recruiting process. You see them go from 18-year-old young men to grown men when they leave, and not just basketball wise, but academically, socially, and ready to take on the world. And I think as coaches, we're very fortunate to be able to do what we do. And we all got into this game because somebody had that powerful impact on us. And it's not lost on me that's our ultimate goal each and every day.
Awesome. And after, win number 184, I was able to hear through a video on Twitter, right? Or X, the platform X, because, we have access to all this stuff now.
Yeah.
But in the locker room post-game huddle, you said something that honestly really, really stood out to me. You said, as long as you honor the game will give it back to you. Your kids, your family's invested in not just wins and losses, but your players, your other family, right? And so how have you seen that really transpire in your life?
Yeah, well, I think it's true. I mean, I think I'll get in the huddle and everybody says some type of family, but it's an extended family, and the wins and losses affect your home life. It's just the way it is. But that's the magic of it. That's the beauty of sports. And my family's been able to attend the games and get to know the players and cheer for them and have their favorites and so on. So that's really, really great. And it's important for me that our players see us other than coaches. We have lives outside of the basketball court. Although a lot of that is dictated on how well that goes. And I think particularly basketball coaches' wives, they live it because when we're on the road for a 5 day road trip,
Right.
there's an impact there as well. But wouldn't trade it for the world, and you couldn't do it without all that support at home, and happy to share that family with the basketball family.
Awesome. Yeah, a huge sacrifice. Everybody bought in. Super thankful for that, though. Okay, I didn't know this about you, but obviously in doing research for the interview, I want to take us back to 1983. Okay, you just graduated
Yep.
from Hamilton College,
Yep.
and you're working in the computer software industry.
Yep.
Did you ever envision yourself back then being in the position you are now?
Never. And didn't start out that, I had a tremendous college experience, unbelievable teammates, a great mentor, and Tom Murphy, who's still with me on this staff. When picking a school, had no idea what I was doing, but I fell into it and
Wow.
got a lifetime relationship with my head coach that not everybody gets,
Wow.
and I'm aware of that. But in '83, I was, got out. I was a math major in college, and ended up being a software engineer for Raytheon here in Boston. Came out, lived with some ex teammates, and working away as everybody does, coming out of college. But
Yeah.
ended up coaching CYO basketball
Oh my.
on the weekends. And when you love the game, you just kind of try to find a way to stay in it, whether it's playing in men's leagues yourself, or coaching that way. And about 3 years into that software engineering career, I said, this isn't really where my passion lies. I still want to do something with the game, and ended up quitting my job, took a high school job, and worked quickly back with Coach Murphy at Hamilton for a couple of years. Fortunate enough to get on with Coach Skinner at Rhode Island, then the Boston College, and came to Northeastern. An unlikely path. I couldn't script it or anticipate it, but just grateful for it, for all the stops along the way and people that have helped me, and helped me enjoy the game and love the game throughout those years.
That's awesome to still love the game. And okay, 5 CAA championship game appearances, 2 conference titles for the Huskies under your leadership. You're the longest tenured head coach in the CAA and have plenty more to accomplish. And you love the game. I mean, so what motivates you every day, before practice, waking up in the morning to still do what you do and establish your
Yeah.
legacy at Northeastern?
Yeah, I think it's the relationships.
Mhm.
It's the relationships in the past, and growing all the way up. But I still get uh, people like my high school JV coach follows Northeastern basketball. I have a whole clan of former teammates at Northeastern that show up on the road and come to games. Then there's current players and past players, and it's just it's an unbelievable way to stay connected with people, and for people to stay connected with you. And sometimes, and life can get really, really busy, and you lose track of people. But it's somehow basketball brings us all back together, and that's the joy of it. So when you go in every day's a little bit different. No days play out the same. But the end goal is still the same: is to make long and enduring relationships with everybody you come in contact with, and I'm so thankful that the game does that for us all.
Honor the game and it'll give it back to you. I love that. I see it play out in your life. And last question for you, coach, because I'm so curious. Like when you look back on the memories, you mentioned 18 years with the Huskies. So the conference titles or whatever it might be, what are some memories that stand out to you that make you smile, honestly?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just to know over when you hit any milestone in life, whether it's a birthday or whatever, you get reflective and you think back, how you got here, I think most of the memories are the relationships of the people that have helped you along the way, and guys that have guided you, guys that you could have gone in different directions, but stood by you in tough times, and then supported you, and great times and sharing those moments with other people. And that's, that's the players in the locker room after a great win. That's, ex-players that come back to support the team. That's ex-teammates that show up for you on the road. That's ex-coaches that check in with you to still make sure you're going about things the right way. And just grateful for all those relationships. And I think those are the biggest championships. When we can form those bonds and have a positive impact on somebody else's life. That's the greatest championship of all.
Coach, congratulations. Plenty more to accomplish, memories to be made, relationships to be had, and thanks for your time. I'll see you in March.
I appreciate it. Thank you.